All right. Hey guys, how's it going? It's Joy. I'm here back again with another video, you guys. I hope that everybody is doing well and staying safe on this Sunday. And happy Father's Day to the fathers out there. I almost forgot to mention that in my post. Let me go ahead and post that I'm live. Let's see here. I hope everybody is enjoying time with family and friends, with their dads, with their grandpas, with their stepdads, uncles. Let's see, with their brothers. I'm going to say, hey guys, I'm live. Be sure to tune in. Happy Father's Day to all. All right. So yeah, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. All right, I hope you guys are celebrating with your dads. So, you guys, as you can see, the topic today is we're going to be talking about self-sabotage, we're going to be talking about self-doubt, and we're also going to be talking about inner childhood affirmations. And if anybody has dealt with a narcissistic dad, we could definitely chat on that. But yeah, luckily, my dad is not a narcissist, but my dad is not perfect, but he is not a narcissist. So I definitely got lucky, but I did have the opportunity of having narc females in my life. So yeah. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get right into the topic. I hope that you guys can hear me well. And if anybody wants to chime in, please feel free to do so. And we will talk more on the subject at hand. Okay, so self-sabotage, how to self-sabotage. That's really important. And it's good to talk about it and recognize if you are doing this, because this can be something that is very detrimental in your life. It can actually hold you back from progressing in your life, and it could cause you to, really just ruin good things in your life, and to, just really stifle. It stops your progression. It holds you back from being happy. It holds you back from getting and receiving blessings from the universe. It holds you back from, living your life and being happy and, really getting the most out of this experience we call life, And thank y'all for that like. I appreciate it. Welcome. And please feel free, if you come in the room, say your name, who you are, where you're from, what you guys are up to today. Chime in. Would love to hear from you guys. How are you guys spending your Father's Day? But yeah, so stopping self-sabotage is very, very, very important. And it's normal, especially coming out of narcissistic abuse. I know me personally, when it comes to self-sabotage, I guess I could say, like, maybe I felt like, after I got out of the relationship with the narcissist and, going no contact with my aunt, and even dealing with the borderline in my life years ago, I guess in a sense, I felt like I wasn't worthy. I felt like I wasn't good enough. And maybe if someone were to come around me, relationship wise, maybe I would be like, oh, they deserve better, or, oh, I'm not good enough, or, oh, because of what happened to me in the past, that means that I can't be in this situation, or I can't get treated nicely because of what someone else did, so that's a form of self-sabotage. So, but luckily I don't do that now, But, if this is something that you do now, you definitely just want to be aware of it and understand why you're doing it. And, just kind of get a hold of your thoughts and your habits and your behaviors, and, basically get to to the root of the cause. So I did just want to give you guys some tips, and I did get this from Instagram. And I just thought it'd be nice to share with you guys for those of you that do go through this now. So basically you can get to know yourself again, like find out, who you are, and that comes from spending time by yourself, in your own company, that sort of thing. And so basically find out what it is that you value, how are you acting against these values? So, what do you value? Do you value love? Do you value relationships? Do you value family? Do you value abundance? Do you value, integrity? Or do you value spirituality or education? Whatever it is, you have to figure out what it is that you value, and then you have to act on it, and you have to stick by it, And then also you have to realize, you have to identify what you are doing that does not serve you. So, again, if this is like a relationship, especially coming out of a narcissistic abuse relationship, and then maybe you find yourself trying to date or whatever, and you realize like, maybe that person is good, or they're treating you in a way that you're not used to. Like maybe it could make you feel uncomfortable. You're just like, oh, get away from me, or like, oh, stop being so nice to me. You have to realize that you're doing that, and then you have to work on not doing that. It may feel weird, like even because you're like, man, like my family treated me like crap. The people in the past treated me like crap. So why is this person being so nice to me? I need to get away from them. Some people are like that, and it's no judgment, because I used to do that, And I just had to recognize, like, no, like I'm worthy of a healthy relationship. I'm worthy of love. I'm worthy of being treated nicely. And, what happened to me in the past and how people have treated me in the past has really nothing to do with me. It's just that's who they were. And I just so happened to be around them. But luckily, I was able to remove myself from that particular situation and understand, what was right for me, So it's understanding like what is true for you, what you deserve. But if you're not sure of what you deserve, then you could kind of get stuck in those type of situations, and you could find yourself self-sabotaging. And this could actually also be true for like, like for work or career or any business endeavors, or, that sort of thing, professional aspect of it, where you could be like, oh yeah, I want to accomplish this, or I want to pursue this dream, or I want to pursue this goal. And then like you're asking other people like, oh, well, what do you think? Do you think this is a good idea? And people are like, oh yeah, like go for it, do it. And then, in your mind, you could be like self-sabotaging, because you're just like, oh, well, my mom never did it before, or my sister never did it before, my brother never did it before, so how am I going to do it? And and you, in your mind, you could be justifying like, oh, I don't have this, or I don't have that, and no one knows me, or I'm too fat, or I'm too skinny, or I'm too whatever the case is, and in your mind you can self-sabotage. So you just want to be aware of that, and understand, like, if you have a vision, or if you have a goal or a dream, it's nothing wrong with just giving it a try. It's just as simple as that. It's nothing wrong with doing that. And then understanding your thoughts. What are you thinking about? And not being so attached to those thoughts, right? But and so the next thing, I guess this is kind of relates to what I just said, is what is the toxic behavior that you need to take responsibility for? So is it toxic behavior you're thinking? Is it the people that's around you? Is it the way that you behave? And, do you procrastinate? Do you, does your mind say, oh, I don't know? And does it drift off elsewhere? Or does it change constantly? Like, do you change your mind constantly? Or do you be like, oh, I'm going to do it tomorrow, or I'm going to do it another day, or, so you do want to make sure that you're taking responsibility for the toxic behavior. And even in the relationship aspect, are you getting in a situation, and then like you're nice to the person at first, And I guess maybe if you think they're getting too close to you, do you kind of, then you start treating them mean, like, because maybe you're trying to push them away because you don't want to get hurt, because you've been hurt before, and you're just like, I don't want that feeling anymore, but I still want to be in a relationship. So it's like this love-hate sort of dynamic going on, you know? And even this could relate to finances too. So like, let's say if you have a goal, you want to like start to save more, you want to invest more, but then you constantly spend, you know, and maybe there's no budget, or maybe there's no financial plan, you know what I mean? So just understanding like, okay, well, maybe I need to spend this much this month, and maybe I need to eat in this day, or whatever, you know what I mean? So it's just becoming aware of the toxic behavior, right? And then the next thing is I wanted to talk to you guys about is understanding your triggers and learning what your triggers are. I think that's important, right? Because what you can do is write down what your triggers are, and then write down your thoughts and feelings on paper or phone, you know, and, you know, discover what your thought patterns are and what your beliefs are about these triggers that you have, right? And then the next thing is you guys want to learn your core beliefs. And I want to do another video about this, talking about how to correct your beliefs. Like, because some of us, unfortunately, we might have grew up in a family that was dysfunctional, not all, but some of us, and our core beliefs are not the most positive at times, and it could be very self-sabotaging, and it could be going against what we want in our lives. And sometimes we have to actually reprogram ourselves for success and for abundance and for prosperity and for peace and love and happiness. Like, we have to reprogram that, our minds, for that, because we just wasn't taught that. We would, like, nobody around us experienced that. Like, that's not something that was a normal thing for us. So now we have to be the ones to do that work and to reprogram our minds and reprogram our beliefs. We have to think differently about ourselves and believe differently about ourselves, right? And others as well, right? But yeah, so as far as, you know, learn your core beliefs. So any negative core beliefs that were developed in childhood, and you have to basically identify and understand that that is causing the self-sabotaging behavior. And the crazy part about it is, like, some of those core beliefs that we have, this came from our childhood. Like, we had no control over this. Like, this could have came from like a parent or another family member, or it could have been like a family friend or whatever, and they just came around us and talked about certain things, whether it was like about finances, or whether it was about relationships and love, or whatever the case was. You know, we developed these beliefs, and sometimes they stick with us. Like, we don't even question it at times, you know, but as we grow, we decide, like, okay, I want more, I want to be more, I want more out of life. But you have these beliefs in your mind that you're thinking, and sometimes we believe it to be true, which is not really true. It's just a belief that we think is true, but it's not. And that those beliefs keep us stuck in a certain part in our lives, and it's stopping us from moving forward to what we actually want, you know? So it's about, you know, reprogramming yourself to have newer beliefs about yourself, about others, and really in all areas in your life, you know? So, like, for instance, you know, some of our core beliefs could be like, you know, I'm undeserving, or I'm not enough, or I'm afraid of rejection, I'm fearful of change, that sort of thing. So some of us, we may actually have these type of beliefs, and we might just need to work through reprogramming that, you know, changing that, saying, like, I am worthy, like, I am deserving, I am worthy enough, I am enough, I'm good enough, I'm fine, you know? So All right, so the next thing is how we can learn how to overcome self-sabotage is setting goals to change behavior. And basically what this could mean is, developing self-compassion for ourselves and practicing mindfulness, um, to basically train yourself into not acting on negative thoughts, because again, we can be really, really hard on ourselves as human beings. I know, because I was like that, but we just really have to learn self-compassion and just understand, like, yes, this is life. Life is a school, and we are learning every day. We're getting better every day, or we're trying to get better every day, and it's gonna be okay, And so, but yeah, like I said, you have to understand you're gonna have those negative thoughts. They are gonna come up. They're gonna be in your mind, and it's gonna be like a monkey mind. They call it a monkey mind in yoga because it's just constantly talking at us, and it's just like a radio, just spewing just negativity and self-doubt and self-sabotage, all this stuff, but you have to understand that they're just thoughts, and they're not like the truth, but it's just something that we've been unfortunately programmed to think that way, and so that all starts with us with reprogramming ourselves to have better thoughts and to actually speak it out loud, and you can write it down too. All right, so and then the next thing is, keeping the goals. So you can set some goals for yourself. It doesn't have to be extreme. It could be like really, really simple goals, right? Keep it simple and dedicate some time every day to work on them. So maybe a goal for you is just to have a routine for yourself, a daily schedule, or maybe a goal for you is to work out in the gym. It could be as simple as that. Or maybe a goal for you is to travel, or maybe a goal for you is to start that new business, or maybe a goal for you is to, I don't know, maybe start a new skill or try something different, or maybe it's to meet a new friend or something like that, So it doesn't have to be extravagant. It could be simple and small, but just try to stick to it, right? So I hope that was helpful, you guys. Let me know, what do you guys think on that? I'm gonna grab a drink of water in 1 second, guys. I got my little gallon. Like I said, I understand self-sabotage. It's a challenge. It really is, because the thing is, we really do want to do well. We want to do good, and we want to progress. We want to be happy, or at least content. But again, there's beliefs in our minds. We have these beliefs about ourselves and about other people. And again, it could have been thoughts and things that people have said to us in the past, especially in childhood, because a lot of us, we were like a sponge, just kind of soaking up basically everything we was hearing, everything we was seeing as a child. And we just took it on as just like, oh yeah, that's true, and nobody really kind of explained to us, like, wait, is that really true, So, but yeah, the beliefs that we had when we was younger and with the things that we heard, we kind of take that onto our adult life, and again, these beliefs are not in alignment with where we want to go and who we want to be. And it's a challenge. It is because the unfortunate part is, some of these beliefs were negative, and it's definitely, it's an obstacle to work through. So, but yeah, it takes time and patience and work. All right, so the next topic, you guys, I want to talk about how to overcome self-doubt after narcissistic abuse, or just in general as well. Again, a lot of us victims and survivors, we can definitely struggle with self-doubt because, after dealing with a narcissist or narcissistic abuse, we lose ourselves. We lose our confidence. We lose our zest for life. We lose some lose their personality, and they just become numb, and they may feel like they're a robot. Maybe just kind of like on autopilot. I know I felt that way myself. I felt like I was like a zombie, just like walking around years ago. But yeah, and then I think, we could have had like some sort of passion or a hobby that we worked on, and maybe the narcissist just kind of killed it for us, and you may try to like rebuild yourself back up, and it's difficult because maybe the narcissist put you down a lot. Maybe they ridiculed you, or was passive aggressive and just very pessimistic, and was a bully and never really had anything good to say. And this was probably during the evaluation phase and the discard phase when you was dealing with this narcissist, and you actually really believed them because you put your trust in them. They was probably like your best friend. Maybe they was your husband or your wife, or maybe the only person that you could really depend on, so whatever they said, you're like, oh yeah, that's what it goes, and this could like have been a parent too. This could have been a parent, or this could have been an in-law or whatever like that, and they just really brought down your confidence, yeah. So understanding how to combat that self-doubt is basically, identifying the reasoning for the self-doubt. So identifying what is causing the self-doubt. So some of the self-doubts could be, fear of failure, comparison with other people's progression in their lives, facing a new challenge, pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and your past mistakes. And I can definitely relate, especially like with past mistakes and facing new challenges, and even pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to that too, or maybe there's more. You guys let me know what you think. But yeah, just identifying what's causing the self-doubt. And if you're around a narcissist, they're definitely going to make you feel a lot of self-doubt. They're going to make you feel like you can't even trust yourself, like you can't even make your own decisions, that you have to like rely on them for everything, that you can't do it. Like you have to be like a codependent individual. You like the narcissist gets us to feel like we can't live without them. Like we need to have them in our lives in order for us to live, and for some, it could have been that, meaning like it was your parent. So, as a child, yeah, you need your parent. But the thing about a narc parent is that they don't allow their children to grow up. They want that child to be dependent on them for life. They want you to take care of them for life. And this could be a narc father, because it's Father's Day. There are narcissistic fathers out there. Just me personally, I haven't had much experience with narcissistic fathers, but I definitely had experience with narcissistic aunt and others as well. But yeah, there's narcissistic females, narcissistic males, and but just recognizing the cause of this self-doubt can bring some clarity and help you to understand why you're feeling this way and how you can actually overcome it, because maybe it could just literally just be a fear like in your mind. It may not even be real. Sometimes it might be like a real situation, and other times it's just like it's in your head. It's just a thought. It could just be a belief system that you might just have to work through and overcome, And so the next one is, how to overcome self-doubt is calling out your inner critic. The one book that I read by Pete Walker called Surviving the Thriving CPTSD, he talks about the inner critic, which we all have. And the inner critic is basically the voice in our mind that's always talking down on us, that's always pessimistic and negative and, just thinking the worst of things and always having fears and worries and doubts and all that stuff. So I think what could be helpful when it comes to overcoming self-doubt is challenging Well, before we get to that, understanding your thoughts are not always true. Like, as I mentioned, like we have like so many thoughts per day. Like sometimes it could be overwhelming. Like sometimes we can't even slow down our thoughts. Like that's how many thoughts we have, right? Sometimes we can't even keep up. Like we're like, oh, I have this thought. I have this thought. I have this thought. La 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 la. It just keeps. It literally just keeps going over and over and over again, you know. And so understanding, especially like if it's maybe something that you don't really agree with, but maybe your ego, your pride is probably telling you something else. Understand like some of the thoughts are not even true and just allow it to just pass and not take it personal, you know? And then, you know, the other thing is challenging your self-doubt, right? So, you know, for instance, like if you hold a belief, like let's say you feel like you're not enough or you can never do anything right, or maybe you was actually told that by your narc parent or the person that you was in a relationship with, a narcissist, right? You can ask yourself like, well, what makes this belief true? What makes this belief not true? Really start to question your thoughts, question your belief systems, because that's really going to help you to, you know, work through the self-doubt, work through the self-sabotage, because you're going to start to see like this self-sabotage, this self-doubt is stuff that's not even happening like in the present moment. Like you could be having thoughts based off of like when you were a kid and it's still affecting your life like right now, you know? So, or it could be other people's thoughts, other people's belief systems, not even yours. Like you might not even have your own belief system. You might even have your own values or what you know to be true for yourself. It's like this was passed down to you from generations, from mom and dad, from grandpa and grandma, you know, from in-laws. You know, think about it. So really question what it is that you're doubting in yourself. Right? And then also what can help with this is reminding yourself how far you've come and what your strengths are. So you could be in a point in your life where you're just like, man, like you're not sure if you want to do something, or you're not sure if you're going to make it, or you're just like, man, it just seems so hard. Like, I don't know. But think about how far you've come. Like you probably are not in the same position that you was maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Look at how far you've come and be proud of yourself. Understand, yeah, you did make progress. You may not be where you want to be, but you're not where you used to be. And I think, I forgot who says this quote. Was it Les Brown? I think it might have been Les Brown that said, or it was either Les Brown or it was that other coach. What is his name? Eric Thomas. One of them says, I'm not where I used to be. I may not be where I want to be, but thank God I'm not where I used to be. You might want to kind of think like that, right? And then also recognize when you're having, you know, self-doubt, write down what your strengths are. What makes you strong? What are some good things about yourself? What can you be proud of in regards to your progression in your life or just in general, you know? So, yeah, I hope that was helpful. And then another thing is, again, you can challenge yourself when it comes to feeling these feelings of self-doubt. You can remind yourself like, hey, this is a learning process, because it is. We're learning. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. This is a school. Life is a school. Like we are learning. Just because like we graduate from high school and college, that doesn't mean that we're no longer learning anymore. We're always learning. I'm still learning. You're still learning constantly. So remind yourself that this is a process, you know, and if you fail, it's just an opportunity to learn and grow from. It's okay. I mean, nobody's going to get out of life perfect. Like, I mean, we come in this world alone, we die alone. Like, we're all going to die one day. So you might as well just get out there, go for it, and do what it is that you want to do. But again, your ego, your pride could be telling you like, oh, I don't know, like what if that happens, and what if they think this, or what if they say that? None of that matters. Trust me, none of that matters. Or you could be thinking about the narcissist. You're going to be like, well, what if the narcissist comes back? What if they hoover me? And what if they leave the new supply and come back to me? Are they changed? Are they better? No, they're not. They're going to come back. They're going to come back, but they have not changed. They have not changed at all. Right? They don't want to see you happy. They don't want to see you move on to better. Right? All right. And the next thing is in regards to self-doubt is to take action. And welcome, y'all. Give this video a like. Let me know what y'all think if y'all are in the room. And please feel free to chime in if there's anything that helps you guys overcome these challenges with self-doubt and self-sabotage. What do you guys do? But so yeah, you guys, now taking action really does help with the self-doubt because it can counteract what your ego and your mind is constantly telling us, right? So you minimize the effect of your self-doubt every time you push through despite its presence. So like, and the mind is so funny, you guys, because this actually happened to me several times where, what was the occasion? There's so many times that our mind can tell us like, oh, like don't do that. But then when you do it, you feel better because you realize all along it's just like your ego just talking to you. Like, it's like your inner critic. And a lot of us, we have that inner critic because of the CPTSD that we experience when dealing with a narcissist and experiencing narcissistic abuse. It kind of sticks with us. So you have that inner critic constantly talking down on you all the time, but you have to combat that and change the thoughts and actually have positive thoughts that you say to yourself and that you reprogram yourself to believe, right? But like, let's say, yeah, like you could be like, oh, I want to cook this, or, oh, I want to work out, or, oh, I want to, I don't know, go on this trip or whatever the case is. And your mind is like, oh, don't go. Like if you're working out, like your ego is probably telling you like, oh, I'm just tired. I'm feeling lazy. Like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. But then when you actually do it, then you be like, oh, like my ego was just like talking mess to me. Like it was lying to me the whole time, So you realize like sometimes you have to push through and just do it anyway. And then you realize like, oh, that was just my self-doubt just talking to me, my inner critic talking to me, So you have to push through that. And then, yeah, I literally just said that. So the next one is use encouraging affirmations such as I belong here. My opinion deserves to be heard. What does this one say? Hold on, I'm like, wait, I can't read my writing. Hold on, you guys. These are just some affirmations I want to read to you guys. Where did it go? Where is it? But you guys pretty much get the gist of it, right? Yeah, okay, I can do hard things. There you go. Yeah, I can do hard things. Because sometimes our self-doubt can be like, oh, like everything has to be so easy. Like I don't want to try nothing new because I don't want to get outside of my comfort zone. Like it's just too scary to try this new hobby or to try this new activity or to join this new club or to try this new experience. And that's literally, again, your inner critic talking to you or your ego and your pride talking to you. But when you push through and do it, you're going to be like so much happier. Like, oh, I could do that. Like, that's nothing, So yeah, you guys, I hope that was helpful. And I know that, again, these are challenges that a lot of us victims and survivors, we do deal with coming out of a narcissistic relationship. But as I always say, just be easy on yourself. Give yourself time. You know, it's gonna happen. You know, your self-doubt and your self-sabotage didn't happen overnight, so you're probably not going to overcome it overnight, but it just takes daily practice, daily affirmations, daily reprogramming your mind, changing your beliefs, and just pushing through whatever obstacle or challenge that you are experiencing, just pushing through it and going for it anyway, no matter what your ego is telling you, no matter what your inner critic is telling you, you know, and just changing your thoughts, right? Reprogramming your mind. And the last thing before we go, I just wanted to share with you guys some inner child affirmations for those of you that are working through healing your inner child. And then we will chat a little bit about Father's Day, if anybody wants to say anything about that. But basically, some things that your inner child needs to hear. You could definitely, I got this from Instagram. It's Hey Bobby Banks, so check her out on IG. But it says, you could say to your inner child, I'm sorry you had to go through that alone. I will keep you safe and be here for you. You have always been and will always be enough. You deserve to feel safe in relationships. Your voice matters. You matter. It's okay to feel what you're feeling. So yeah, I think that that's really good to hear, because again, our inner child is so precious and all it wants is to be loved and cared for, to be heard, to be accepted. And, you know, sometimes we have to do that for ourselves, especially if our parents are narcissists, whether it's your mother or your father, or, you know, if it was, you had a partner that was a narcissist, or if it was a friend that you had was a narcissist. Sometimes you have to like be your own friend. Sometimes you have to be your own parent, you know, and that sort of thing. And sometimes you have to love on yourself. If it was a romantic partner that was a narcissist, sometimes you got to be like, you know what, whatever happened. It was for a reason. I'm going to learn from it, and I'm going to challenge myself to be better in spite of it, no matter what, you know. And so, but yeah, I hope that this video was helpful, and I hope that you guys, I would love to know, like, what was your takeaway, and if you guys plan on implementing anything over the next couple weeks or so. And I hope that you guys do enjoy the time with your dad and your family, if your father is around. And if not, you know, sometimes like I said, the reparenting, sometimes you have to learn how to reparent yourself. So being your own father, which means protecting yourself and having boundaries and, you know, that sort of thing. So self-protection, yeah, and nurturing yourself, and being able to progress in your life and to take action. That's a masculine thing, is to take action in your life. And yeah, to be disciplined and determined and dedicated. That's very masculine energy. But you also could, of course, balance it out with the feminine energy as well. But this is Father's Day. So yeah, sometimes you might have to be your own father, and that's okay. And it can be hurtful for some people, because, you know, we love our parents, we love our fathers, we love our mothers, you know, so. And then it could be where, you know, you didn't have the dad around. So like maybe your mother played the mother and the father role, you know, so that's definitely an interesting dynamic as well. But anyway, I'm not going to talk to you guys too long, but I hope you guys have a great Sunday. I will see you guys next week, and give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you want more information, or if you like this type of content. And you guys, if there's other content or other topics that you guys want me to make a video about, go ahead and leave it below in the description box, and I will make a video just like this answering that question. So anyway, love you guys so much. Until next time, bye.